Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Emily and we got a very special guest with us today. We have Marbolitos, but he's a little tired right now. As you can see, he's sleeping in the background. But he'll pop in and out, and I'll see if I can get him in the video or not. But if you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome again. So yeah, today I have a really important topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and it's about marbles. So let's get to the video. For today's topic, I want to talk about the top 5 things you should know before getting a dog. So if you're thinking about getting a dog, this is the video for you. So yeah, let's get started. So I think my number one thing that I think that everybody should know is what type of dog that you're looking for. So what type of breed you're looking for, what kind of gender, so like when my boyfriend was looking for a dog, he's allergic to dogs. Not all dogs, some dogs, and so there are some dogs that are hyperallergenic. And so Marble, for instance, is hyperallergenic. He's a poodle mix with a cocker spaniel. So these are some things that you should be considering that are really, really important. And depending on the type of breed, there's a lot of things that go with it. So, for instance, Marble has long ears. That's given from the cocker spaniel, and so he's prone to ear infections, and that's just something normal. That's something that me and Matt have to keep up with. Every single week we have to just make sure that we're cleaning his ears, but from time to time he does get an ear infection, and that's just something that's really common with this breed. Another thing, poodles, for instance, you need to brush their hair a lot because they have very curly hair. So again, when you're thinking about a dog, think about the type of dog that you want. Do you want a small dog? Do you want a big dog? Do you want a girl? Do you want a boy? My preference are boy dogs, male dogs. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just take your time researching. For me, I never really liked some really, really small dogs just because I was afraid that I would never be able to find them. But Marble's the perfect size. He's not too big, he's not too small. No, if he was a little bit smaller, he'd be perfect, but he's adorable, isn't he? For number 2, I think behavioral expectations is another thing to consider. So again, depending on the type of breed you have, again, make sure you research thoroughly. So for Marble, because he's a mix, poodles are just extremely smart dogs. They're the type of dogs that you can train for agility and competitions. And then cocker spaniels, some of their behavioral expectations that I read online, they're rowdy, they like to make a mess, sometimes you can train them to be hunting dogs. And so when you put these two mixes together, it's a ball of energy. So for me, growing up as a kid, I already had a cockapoo. That's the name of his breed. So I already had 10 years of experience managing a dog like this. Marble, for instance, is completely different from my childhood dog. He's very energetic, he's extremely social. So things that you just need to know before getting a dog. Your first year is going to be rough. Trust me, dogs are a big responsibility. Their first year, I don't like to compare them to children, but they're a lot of work. Their first year, you need to make sure that you're walking them. You have to train them. You have to properly socialize them. You have to exercise them. You have to give them toys that are stimulating so that they don't become, so they don't become rowdy or trying to hacer travesura en la casa. So they don't make a mess and stuff like that. So when they're puppies, they're gonna teeth. The first 3 months they're gonna shed. Another thing that's with them, they're gonna pee everywhere. If you don't walk them as often as, if you don't have the time to walk them frequently, they're gonna pee everywhere. So you're gonna have to set up wee pads. There's a lot so just make sure you're ready for that responsibility to just dedicate enough time of your day to just be able to properly give as much attention as you can. So now that you already got locked down what type of breed you want, what your expectations with the type of dog that you're looking into getting, now let's get into the cost. Realistically, dogs are expensive. They're really expensive. their first year they go through, there's a lot of shots that they need. They go through like they need their rabies shots. There's the Portadella shot. There's a lot. They get checkups every now and then, and then there's the random illnesses that like they get like sometimes with their puppies, and so you just need to be on top of that. And the vet, surprisingly, is really expensive. Every time you go to a pet clinic, like one, you pay for a doctor visit, then two, like every single thing that they need costs. Same thing with grooming. Grooming is also another expense. Their dog food, their dog toys. There's just a lot of expenses that go into dogs. So just be prepared financially to understand that that's going to be a big responsibility. It's not something that you can just put to the side. Dog food, for instance, like you can buy like these big, really big, well, like for me, like what I do, a lot of this, where I go shopping would be PetSmart or Petco for his dog food. His brand, it's specifically, it's like the best like food for cockapoo, his mixed breed. So yeah, there's just a lot of like hidden costs associated with dog that you wouldn't necessarily know. So same thing with like if you're in New Jersey or New York, there's like dog licensing that you need. Oh, there's also another thing, like if you're neutering or spaying your dog, that's also another cost. So there are a lot of things that you just need to be prepared to know. Like if you want your dog to have puppies, you do need to get like a dog license, and it costs more if your dog is a neuter because he's being able to reproduce more. Same thing with like a female dog. So in New York, if you call 311, they will redirect you to like the dog application process, and if you neuter them, it's cheaper. If you don't, it's I think the fee is less than $20, but you apply once a year. And in New Jersey, it's the same thing. Unlike New York, you like get a line that you can call. In New Jersey, I think you can Google it and then you can find it. I don't know if it's like that in any other state, but this is how it works on our end. You need to have a dog license, and yeah. So now, there's one thing, I think this is the thing that saved me the most that I didn't know before. Pet insurance. So when I had Pookie, he got really sick, and I didn't have pet insurance, so there was a lot of like direct costs that had to come out of my pocket and my mom's pocket and my sister's pocket. Like we were all chipping in to pay for some of the expenses, and it got to the point where we couldn't, like even when he passed away, we couldn't afford to get his ashes. My mom figured it out, but she just took a huge debt for herself. That's also another thing. And so I learned my lesson with my first dog. So with my second dog, I got pet insurance right away. I highly suggest it, because every time you go to the vet, like whether it's for like a healthy checkup or if it's for an emergency, because Marvel's had a couple of emergencies. I'll get into a little bit of story time in a bit, but pet insurance was like, it's a lifesaver. So like what it does is they're like, you get a lot of benefits from it. Try to get it right away before you get a dog. It's about like $50 a month. If you want to get like a premium policy or something that's a little bit more, obviously it's going to cost a little bit more. You get like wellness rewards and stuff like that. So pet insurance will cover the cost, but the way the pet insurance works is that like if you go to the vet, you're going to have the money up front, and so you pay for it, and then you like file a claim, and then based on whatever the needs of the dog were and based on what the insurance covers, so like that can consider like vet checkups, some shots, it could be random illnesses like accidents, emergencies, stuff like that, and then the pet insurance is going to determine what is the portion that they're going to refund you. So you will get the majority of your money back. I think there was an incident, so for instance, there was an incident where I had left my dog with my brother, and my brother is really great at taking care of dogs. So, and my dog loves him. He loves Uncle Johnny. But I was like in the middle of the Grand Canyon, and my brother called me, and he freaked out because Marvel at the time was still a little pup, and he was being like a little troublesome. And so he would just grab whatever he can get his hands on. And my brother said that he got a hold of some Advil medications, and he managed to eat like 1 or 2 pills. And if you Google it, like the top thing that shows is that Advil is very toxic for dogs, and so I freaked out. He freaked out. We were both crying because he was a pup, and so my brother had to take him to like an emergency vet, and that cost me like $800, like right out of pocket. But this is my baby. I will do anything for him. So small little things like these emergencies happen, and so yes, I had to pay up front then, but I got my money back maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks after I filed a claim, and I got like maybe 80% of that back. So it wasn't that big of a lift. So that's why I really suggest that pet insurance is like, you should get it. So look into it, think about it. I think for me it's extremely beneficial. And now for the last thing, the most important thing for me, I believe, is just be prepared to be prepared to have fun. Be prepared to devote enough energy and time. Be mentally prepared. Because at the end of the day, having a pup, I think it's like it's something like, no matter how annoying and how much I complain, I'm like, Marvel, you're annoying, or having to walk him every single day, he's brought so much joy into my life. He's like my baby. Like, I dress him up, I have so much fun with him, and he just shows so much love and affection that this is something that is just such a special bond, and all the memories we're able to make and all of the things that I'm able to teach him, like, this is such a beautiful relationship. And so just be mentally prepared and have fun. If you have questions, Google it. If you want to learn something, watch it online. So these are my top 5 recommendations. These are things I wish I knew before I got a dog. And so I'm trying to share whatever I learned from my experiences and just bring them to you. So I hope this was helpful. For Marble, like, again, I love Marble, and he's like super good, and it's a learning process throughout the entire way. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this was helpful. So if you're thinking about a dog, or if you want a dog, or you have a dog, please let me know in the comments below what kind of dogs, what are your favorite types of dogs. I think Marble's the cutest. I love Cockapoos. They're just, it's a great mix of a breed. But yeah, I had fun, and stay tuned for my training. Like, I'm gonna have some training tips on how I train Marble to do all the things he does, and stay tuned for more. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and catch you guys in my next YouTube video. See ya!